Great Debaters Contest is brought to you by Safaricom M-Pesa.
Six years down the line and hundreds of debates later, we find ourselves here in Nairobi region. Welcome to the Great Debaters Contest. I am Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Yumbok. The motion today is military intervention against the Shabaab is justified. We have Brookhust High School versus the very esteemed Starehe girls. Who will be the victor?
First proposer, take the floor. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. And before I start debating, I'd like if we'd all give a moment of silence in honor of our fallen soldiers. Thank you. That'll be it. First of all, I'd like to start with defining to most of us what is Al-Shabaab or who is Al-Shabaab. Al-Shabaab is Al-Qaeda's affiliate in Somalia and operates primarily in the regions, in the southern and central regions of the nation, which fight an insurgency against the internationally recognized Somali federal government. So for me, I would like to support the motion that military intervention against Al-Shabaab is justified. Our soldiers have played a major role in liberating parts of Somalia, mainly parts known as Mogadishu, and as we move a few kilometers off the border in El Waki, which were completely terrorized by this militia group. The KDF may leave only when Somalia is stable, for this would help in the economic and social growth of the nation. Withdrawing Kenyan troops from Somalia would compromise the fight against terrorism in the Horn of Africa, where it is most affected by this militia group. If we were to liberate it completely, it would increase and help the nation for foreign and domestic exchange of goods. The Kenyan soldiers and those from other countries have played their part in stabilizing and bringing peace to Somalia, not only for the benefit of the country, but also as Africa as a whole. So these nations would namely be Ethiopia, Uganda, Burundi, and Rwanda, and Uganda, which have played a major role in liberating this nation from this militia, which has reigned terror on the nation with an iron fist. This is not the time to politicize and publicize this issue. Our soldiers need our support, and we must remain united with them. Their families, which have lost their sons, their daughters, who are fighting for our nation at the front line. And we must stand united with them so that the next generation or the next recruits to be sent out there to fight for our nation would really know that back here we are appreciating their effort fully and completely. As we had the leader of the free world come and visit our nation for 3 executive days, they also promised military and economic aid to our nation, which would support the security and as well our economy against the dollar. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes for your opening statements.
I grew up under the care of my only brother, Johnny, after the death of our parents. They left us in a poverty-stricken state, and that meant that Johnny had to work so hard so that he can provide for everything that I needed. Luckily, and by God's grace, in early 2011, Johnny joined the military. We were so happy because he could be able to provide for me, his wife, Sophia, and his 7-month child, Sammy. In late 2011, Johnny was called to go and defend his nation against terrorists. And as a young, vibrant, patriotic soldier, he adhered to the call. Unfortunately, Johnny lost his life while fighting for his nation, leaving behind his wife Sophia, his 7-month-old child, and his little sister in a poverty-stricken state. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not only Johnny, but there have been so many Johnnies out there who have left Sophia's, Sammy's, and their little sisters in a state that I was left in. Ashley Wanja, Starehe Girls Center, here to oppose this motion that states military intervention against Al-Shabaab is justified. What is a military? Also called armed forces, which is authorized to use deadly weapons and force in order to defend the interests of its citizens and the nation. And what is armed force? An armed force is a government-sponsored defense and fighting force or organization. And what is intervention? It is the act of intentionally getting involved in a difficult situation in order to improve on it or make it better. And what is to justify? Justify is to do something for a good reason. And what is Al-Shabaab? It's a group of extremists who believe in acting violently against those people who don't have the same beliefs as they do. Ladies and gentlemen, since terrorist attacks started occurring in Eastern Africa, the Eastern African states decided to send their military troops to Somalia to counter these attacks. Kenya, being one of them, sent the KDF soldiers to Somalia in order to defend the citizens of this nation. What happened after their departure? We have all realized that after their departure, the killings and attacks intensified in this nation. Ladies and gentlemen, until when are we going to play this game of pain for pain, which makes us rotate in the same circle? We have not only lost the lives of our citizens, but also the soldiers, for example, from Kenya, Burundi, and Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen, we are also interfering with our economic status. We have lost a lot of money in this battle. To conclude, if military tactics have failed, then let us stop and withdraw. For insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Impossible.
We'll hear rebuttals now. Proposition, you have 3 minutes.
I would like to take a moment to take you through the events that have been happening so far in Kenya due to Al-Shabaab. In 2013, we had the Westgate attack. In 2014, in Mpeketoni, there were, between June 15th and 17th, 150 men and innocent children were killed and several injured. Late last year, in Garissa University, several students were killed and some were put through pain and agony just because there's a group out there that thinks it's okay to put us through pain. Within these attacks, there's something they all have in common. They're coming against us and going to places where it's not right. For example, in the Garissa, those were vibrant students, some who did not deserve to die and had nothing to do with Al-Shabaab or anything to do with their motives. In Peketoni, they went around kicking doors, telling people to prove that they were Muslims, and I found that wrong. If we stay in Somalia, we take the problem away from the country and we keep our citizens safe while also protecting the country. If we do it within our country, our people will not feel safe and secure. And the reason why we should stay out is because justice needs to be served. And when we stay there, we're not only helping our country, we're also helping Somalia, which are very good allies to us as we are neighboring countries. And I believe that we should stay there and continue fighting. And as a non-resident of Kenya, with Kenyan heritage, I believe that if we stay there and continue fighting, I'll find it much safer to come to this country and see my ancestors. Thank you.
Starehe, you have 3 minutes.
Worthy opponents, I'm impressed. Handsome and good-looking, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about keeping our country safe and secure. Did I hear right? I hope I did. Well, how are we safe and secure when we take the people who are meant to be protecting us in Kenya to Somalia? Are they protecting Somalia or Kenya? Well, in their absence, attacks are intensifying. We are talking about helping Somalia. Ladies and gentlemen, I am saddened that you do think we are helping Somalians. It hurts me to look at the standard dated 21st January 2016. After the attack on KDF camp in Somalia, the residents appeared to be happy and celebrating. The newspaper quotes, they thanked the Al-Shabaab for helping them get rid of KDF. Ladies and gentlemen, I am shocked. The object of torture is torture. The object of murder is murder. The object of oppression is oppression. And the object of peace, ladies and gentlemen, is not war, it is peace. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll watch Mary Effie, Starehe Girls Center, here to strongly oppose the motion that states military intervention against Al-Shabaab is justified. Ladies and gentlemen, just as I have said, we keep on intervening in matters of Somalia. Why would one keep on intervening in the matters of a neighbor? Keep on knocking at a door of the same neighbor who slams the same door on your face. Ladies and gentlemen, I was shocked to learn that during a parliament proceeding held in Somalia in November 2015, barely 3 months ago, ladies and gentlemen, 160 parliamentarians voted for all the AMISOM troops in Somalia to retreat back to their countries. Later, it comes out only two voted for them to stay, and one did not actually vote. Ladies and gentlemen, let us stop interfering with matters of Somalia when they do not want us to interfere. The Somalians do not want us there, the Al-Shabaab does not want us there, and the Somalian government does not want us there as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we are fighting a war in which we are losing. Every time you hear of attacks in Kenya, 147 innocent Kenyans die. 67 die. Ladies and gentlemen, I am tired of having moments of silence. I want to have moments of joy, moments of making noise, because I know my country is developing. Do not request me for moments of silence. Kindly give me moments of joy. Mahatma Gandhi once said, terrorism is a weapon of the weak, not of the strong. And Noam Chomsky said, the best way to fight terrorism is to stop engaging in it. Stop acting as terrorists, and in order for you to stop terrorism.
The proposers have been asked what progress have KDF made in bolstering national security with respect to their actions in Somalia, and the opposition have been challenged, if military intervention is not the solution, then what is? Third proposer, you have 3 minutes.
My name is Eugene Robbie. I'm representing Brookhust International School. Ever since Kenya entered Somalia in 2011, we increased security everywhere. When you go to Westgate, after they attacked Westgate, what happened? Go to Westgate, look at the security that we have now. You cannot enter with weapons, you cannot enter with guns. We even have people from other nations helping us, because we are doing everything we can to protect this nation. Okay? And the second, the Prime Minister of UK boycotted us because of the actions that were going on before 2011, because of the terrorist actions that Al-Shabaab were doing to us. But ever since we started this operation in the Inchi, they have known that we are serious. We are not going to let people from other countries come into our country and try to kill us. We're not going to let anyone kill our innocent people. The point, KDF is Kenya Defense Forces. What is their job? Their job is to protect us Kenyans. They give their lives. Some of the greatest countries in the world. You don't become great by doing nothing. You have to make sacrifices. And to make sacrifices, you have to do big things. Doesn't matter if it hurts a lot of people, you'd rather it hurt a couple than hurt a million. This is for the greater good of Kenya. That's all we should think about is Kenya. Kenya is made of, what, 47 communities? At the end of the day, when you ask, are you Kenyan? Are you Kenyan? Are you Kenyan? We are all one family. We don't fight for me. I don't fight for you. I don't fight for you. We fight for all of us. Because when we stand united, we can do anything. We can beat anyone. It's all about faith in a KDF. If we have faith and we support them, they can work miracles. Because yes, they did give us a big blow. When you think about it, they may have won that battle, but we will win the war. We can't let nothing stop us. Thank you.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes to respond.
Starehe girls, Elsie McKenna. Justin, unique name never heard of. Thank you for the question, for I was just to give it on what else to do other than the military intervention. Now, in 1994, USA, the most powerful state that is well equipped, left Somalia. In 2009, Ethiopia left Somalia. Kenya, my loving country, what are you still doing in Somalia? What are you still doing in Somalia? Now, okay, I read this and personally I was astonished. Now, the distance between the Somali National Army and the Kenya Defense Force camp, the distance between the two camps is 40 meters. Apparently, before our attack, the soldiers from National Somali Army left their camp 1 hour before our attack. Do these people really want us in their country and you are protecting them? We want them to be stable. Kenyans, let's bring back our soldiers back to our country. Yes, you want security for our country. The only thing you can do as per now, let's secure our borders. Our borders is the only way they're using to come into our country and attack us. And if you have not known, Al-Shabaab are affecting mostly the third growing countries. That is, for example, Kenya, Uganda, Burundi. Here, for example, Al-Shabaab attacked Burundi and killed 50 soldiers. Attacked Uganda, killed 19 soldiers, and attacked our country, KDF force, and killed about 70 people. As much as you want to make Somalia stable, we are losing our own. And what I think, instead of using military intervention, this is what I think we should be having. Boundaries secured. And 2, all those organizations that fund Al-Shabaab, let the government and other huge organizations curb those organizations that are funding Al-Shabaab so they can be able to be equipped and fight against us. 3, educating the youth. The youth are easily radicalized into the movement of Al-Shabaab because of lack of knowledge of how to tolerate with other people's decisions, how to understand others. We need that education. We need it in our co-curriculum activity so they can hear when you are taught to tolerate others, I believe we are going to understanding each other and avoid that conflict between the two of us. And thank you.
Closing statements now. Brookhust, you have a minute.
We do know that the most powerful nation on earth, the United States of America, left Somalia due to a few difficulties of who to engage and who not to engage. Because in war, there are rules of engagement. The Al-Shabaab militants used both women and men as suicide bombers, killing hundreds of American soldiers plainly. And 2, there are plans to secure our borders, which we share with Somalia. We are to build hundreds of kilometers of fencing, trenching, and a road that will be kept under constant surveillance by the Kenya Defense Forces. And to conclude, I would like to quote what His Excellency President Kenyatta said at Mtwapa. He said, "We must work together as Kenyans. We must emulate them and stand together as Kenyans for the country's progress." End of quotation. Thank you.
Starehe girls, you have a minute.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I was calmly sitting in my house watching the 9 p.m. NTV news. Then all of a sudden there is boom, bang. Then I wonder, oh my goodness, what is happening next door? And I realize my neighbor is having a fight with his wife. Ladies and gentlemen, as a loving neighbor, I walk to their house in an attempt to help them find a solution to their problem. But when I get to their door, they tell me, no, thank you, we do not need your help. No, thank you, we can actually handle our issues. My continued stay there will elicit them to join forces against me and fight me as a common enemy, having forgotten their differences. That is exactly what the KDF and other AMISOM troops are doing in Somalia, knocking on doors when they are being told their help is not needed. Ladies and gentlemen, we should retreat our armies and militants from Somalia. Whatever our continued stay in Somalia is actually becoming an interference and not an intervention. Thank you.
So Mugambi, good points, good start. However, I would ask you to try master, sorry, don't read too much, okay? However, that was good. Jordan, good speaker as well, very confident. However, you're a cross-examiner. That means that you listen to the other side and then you tell us, well, you know what, they have some weaknesses on this area. That didn't come across. And I utilized the time as well, so next time try use the 3 minutes very well. Eugene, good attempt in answering the questions, I think you pick up slowly. At the end of it all, you're now the Eugene that we were hoping could have started. That means you're a good speaker, but you need to always start from the fourth, with the high note all the way, okay, across. Good attempt as well.
Starehe girls, actually beautiful anecdote, beautiful anecdote. It's an emotional appeal. It was just awesome. Mary, very good debater. Good use of statistics to prove your case. Elsie, I love, at one point you struggled in your delivery, but I love the solutions that you proposed. And I think you gave us viable solutions. Number one, secure our borders. That was beautiful. Number two, educate the citizens, particularly the youth, against radicalization. That was beautiful. Number two, identify the funders of Al-Shabaab and try, if possible, to deplete their accounts. And in so doing, we are going to impoverish them, so to speak, and therefore they'll not be able to conduct their activities. To the three gentlemen and the three ladies, it was a beautiful presentation.
McKenna, you had a bumpy beginning, but I think I like the fact that you answered the question very, very well. That if not military intervention, then what should we do? And you give us, very clear things that we need to do to be able to secure our country. I think what I remember from Effie is I'm tired of having these moments of silence. I want to have moments of peace. And an interference is not an intervention. And you point us, towards the direction that you want us to go. I think after listening to the debate, you made your arguments, both teams. It's just that, whether or not it answers the question for us, that's a debate for another day. All the best to the two schools.
The moment all of us have been waiting for. Brookhust International School, you were awarded 62%. Please give them a round of applause. Starehe Girls Center, the judges saw it fit to award you 75%. You are our winners for the debate.
Thank you to both teams for a very informative debate, and of course, congratulations to the ladies of Starehe. Thank you for watching. Do keep watching and follow us on social media. On Twitter, we are at Great Debaters EA. I have been your host, Mariam Bishar.
And I am Austin Nyumbok. Catch you next debate.
Great Debaters Contest was brought to you by Safaricom M-Pesa.